What's up, everyone? I hope you guys had an awesome new comic book day. So today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for new comic book day, April 21st, 2021. Honestly, it was a pretty big week, but I think there was only 5 or 6 issues on my pull list. I did end up picking up 10 different issues this week, though, so I looked around to see which other ones looked interesting to me. So stick around to see who claims number 1. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, AR Comics, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for this week's new comic book day, April 21st, 2021. But before I get started on these books, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that will keep you up to date on all of the latest releases. So if that sounds like something you do not want to miss out on, make sure you hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this top 10 list. So I hope you guys had a fantastic new comic book day this week and you were able to get all of the issues you wanted to read. Like I was saying before, it was definitely a pretty big week for new releases, but I only had about 5 or 6 issues on my pull list this week. So I did some looking around, tried to find some other issues that looked interesting to me. And honestly, I think overall this was a pretty solid week. I picked up some issues that I wouldn't have picked up if I wouldn't have had such a small week. So to get started on this, as always, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but you guys already know, sometimes spoilers happen, so just be aware of that. But we have coming in at number 10 this week, this is Marvel's brand new series, The Mighty Valkyries, number 1. This is cover A, and like I was saying, this is one that I wouldn't have picked up if I had a bigger pull list this week, and I thought overall it was a very good issue. It's split up into 2 different small stories. The first one focuses pretty much completely on Jane Foster, and then it moves more into the actual Mighty Valkyries. I really liked the Jane Foster part. I thought the Mighty Valkyries story was pretty good. I thought the artwork in that one, it was definitely different, not in a bad way, but I liked it more in the Jane Foster portion of the story, and I definitely think it's worth the read. They brought Loki into it. We even have a possible first appearance coming in on this one, so we're going to see where this story goes. If you're short on books this week, definitely give it a shot if you can, but we have coming in at number 10, Marvel's new one, The Mighty Valkyries. And next up on the list, we have coming in at number 9 this week, Captain Marvel, issue number 28. This is cover A, and for those of you reading this, this is a brand new arc. They called it a brand new arc, but in my opinion, it's pretty much just carried over from the last one. Ove is still the main villain in this, but they're not in the future anymore. They're in present times, but I like what they did with it. I'm happy I didn't end up taking it off my pull list. As far as the new art goes, I think the art itself isn't that bad, but I don't really like how the characters look. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about it down low, but as far as this one goes, if you're already reading this series, I would definitely check this one out too. As you can tell from the main cover, this is her new costume that she's going to be getting. Will they be sticking with it? Who knows? This is definitely a spoiler. So I don't really know how I feel about the whole Captain Marvel turning to Doctor Strange for learning magic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in one of the past arcs, they switched bodies and Doctor Strange kind of had to teach her how to use magic, and now, I don't know, he's kind of against teaching her even though he technically did. I don't know. I could be wrong about that one. I think it was a prior arc. But as far as this issue went, I would definitely check it out if you are reading this series still, but for those reasons, coming in at number 9. And now we have coming in at number 8 this week, Radiant Black, issue number 3. This is cover A. And in my opinion, this issue was way slower than what I was expecting it to be, but it wasn't bad at all. So I went into this thinking it was probably going to be very action-packed based on how the second issue ended, and if it wasn't really a lot of fighting, it was at least going to be kind of a training issue where he was going to be in the suit, maybe trying to figure things out a little bit more, and just go from there. But instead, they slowed it down a lot. We got to learn a lot more about this main character, because we keep hearing how he's this failed writer. He can't make a book, he can barely even write a paragraph or a page, and we just got to see him in his zone the whole time. He gave himself this writing day, and he said, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to get some chapters out, I'm going to write this book, or I'm going to get it going. And it was just really cool to see that. I feel way more attached to him now with an issue like that, instead of it just being completely action-packed. So I'm very happy they did that with this issue. But for those reasons, coming in at number 8, we have Radiant Black, issue number 3. And up next on the list, we have coming in at number 7 this week, Ultra Mega, issue number 2. This is cover A, and just like Radiant Black, this issue took a totally different turn than what I was expecting, and when I was first reading it, I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about it. So I love this first issue so much. I love the artwork, the story, there was action, gore, and it was a non-stop to the last page. This one took a different turn. Now it's set in the future. Everything's already post-apocalyptic. We've got different clans and factions. We've got this rich city and all these poor poor people. And going through it, I thought, you know what, I'm not really sure how I felt about this because it was just so totally different. But as the story went on, the characters were growing on me a little bit, and I just liked where they were going with it. While I'm not completely sold yet on the direction of the story, I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this issue 3. So for those reasons, we have Ultra Mega issue number 2 coming in at number 7. And next up on the list, we have coming in at number 6 this week, Haha, issue number 4. This is cover A, and I really enjoyed this issue. Prince did a great job telling this story. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. I was kind of hoping it went back to what issues 1 and 2 were, because in my opinion, I really didn't like issue number 3. I didn't think it was very well done. But with this one, Prince is really telling us a story. He's really trying to get his message across, and I think he did a great job with it. At some points, though, I did have to reread it, and I was just trying to put some things together. But he's just trying to tell us, this is what I'm getting out of it, is that everybody has problems in life. Everybody's got burdens, things that weigh them down, but it's how you overcome it, how you tell yourself, you know what, this isn't that bad. There's other worse things out there, and just that was the story to me, and I loved it. Like I said, I think he did a great job with it. If you're not a huge fan of Haha, I still suggest definitely check this one out. It's kind of more, like I was saying, comparable to Ice Cream Man in my opinion, but for those reasons, coming in at number 6. And now we're down to the top 5 issues of the week. We have coming in at number 5 this week, Alien, issue number 2. This is cover A. I also really love that cover B, but you guys already know I usually just go for cover A. And I'm not saying I'm completely sold on this series yet, but I'm pretty much sold on it. So I love the first issue. I love how we just kind of got a little bit of backstory on the characters, how they ended up where they are, and now this issue is pretty much just progressing that. We got a little bit more story, and admittedly, it was a little bit on the slow side, but I was pretty interested in what was going on, and it was just a nice slow build-up. We got what happened, what they have to do about it, and now they're on the ship, and everything has gone to hell. I'm not spoiling it, but I love that last page too. I am so psyched for issue number 3. Let me know down low in the comment section what you thought about this issue, but for those reasons, coming in at number 5, we have Alien issue number 2. And now we've got, coming in at number 4 this week, Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, issue number 2. This is cover A, and this is one of the issues I almost didn't get this week. When the first one came out, I thought it was alright. I'm not a huge fan of getting issues with just mini stories in them. And to be honest, I really didn't think those mini stories were even that good. I love the artwork. But once I saw the writing list on this one, I thought there's no way I'm not getting it. We've got Donny Cates, Ram V, Chip Zdarsky. That is a powerhouse lineup. And, you know, just like the last issue, the artwork was so good. I love how it's black and white, but they just really focus on the red. And with this issue in particular, I loved all 3 stories. I thought they were so well done. My favorite one was definitely Chip Zdarsky's, though. I thought Donny Cates's and Ram V's was pretty much on par with each other. Not really going to put one above the other, but Chip Zdarsky's was definitely the best in my opinion. I highly suggest checking it out if you are a Carnage Spider-Man fan, but for those reasons, we have Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, issue number 2, coming in at number 4. And next up on the list, we have coming in at number 3 this week, Nightwing, issue number 79. This is cover A, and I'm so happy I was able to grab a copy today. Initially, when 78 came out on New Comic Book Day, I wasn't able to grab an issue, and everybody in the comment section was saying, I can't believe you didn't grab it. It's such a good issue, and it's a great jumping on point. Well, I wasn't making that same mistake twice. So if you were on the fence with it, you don't really know a lot about DC or just Nightwing as a character, I still think 78 is definitely a good jumping on point because I really don't know anything about this character. But in the first issue, they gave some backstory, kind of who he is just as a person and just where he is now. And this issue just progressed that one a little bit more because they showed in the last one that he came into all of this money. And now this issue, I'm really happy they kind of slowed it down and they didn't really get straight into the action because they're showing what he wants to do with that money. And he starts giving it away to the homeless. He starts helping out all of these homeless people. And that's also such a big part to this story right now. There's all these homeless people just living under a bridge. Then they introduce this brand new character. We don't know a lot of who this person is. It was kind of just a cameo in my opinion, but I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this story. So for those reasons, definitely coming in at number 3, but take it from me, definitely check out Nightwing 78 if you can. And now we're down to the final 2 issues this week. We have coming in at number 2, this is Images, Stray Dogs, issue number 3. This is cover A, and it continues to be a surprise to me. I am loving this series. Sadly, I didn't get the horror variant again, so I'm 0 for 3 on that one, but I did get myself a copy, and I absolutely loved it. The artwork's the same way. It's definitely more on the cartoonish side. I'm sticking to it. The description that they initially said in the first issue of Lady and the Tramp meets Silence of the Lambs, that is just completely spot on to me. You have these dogs, they're all happy, they're loving their life, but there's such a dark side to this story, and we don't know anything about this owner yet, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper as a story. And by the end of this issue, there was not a huge surprise, but something happened that was very surprising to me. So the story kind of took a different route, and I cannot wait to see where they go with this series. I really want to know how these dogs get out of this situation and what they do about this owner. So for those reasons, coming in at number 2, please check out Stray Dogs if you haven't had an opportunity to. And here it is, my top read of the week. We have coming in at number 1 this week. This is Boom Studios' brand new series, The Many Deaths of Lila Starr. This is cover A, and it's written by Ram V. So there will definitely be spoilers for this one because I really want to talk about it, and I highly suggest picking this one up if you skipped out on it. But if you don't want to be spoiled or you haven't had a chance to read it yet, just move on to the end of the video and I'll see you there. But as far as this issue goes, my initial thoughts were not a huge fan of the artwork. It's not really my style, but it does flow very well with the story. Now, as far as the story itself goes, there is a lot going on. And initially, I thought it was a turnoff. I didn't really focus on what was happening. I thought, man, there's just too much happening right now. But it all makes sense towards probably around the middle of the issue. So you have Lila Starr, then you have a group of gods, and Death is the main god that we're going to be dealing with, and then you have another group, and this lady's having a baby. The baby is the one that's pretty important to the story, but it all just goes hand in hand with each other. Lila, like I said, there's going to be spoilers. So Lila falls out of a window, she pretty much dies, and then from there, this baby that's being born, in the future, he's going to create immortality. And that goes back to the gods. So Death is being fired. Death is being sent down to Earth because, she doesn't have a job anymore. And she's pissed off about it. But because Lila Starr died, Death takes over that body. And Death wants revenge on this baby who eventually creates immortality that put her out of a job. Like I said, there is a lot going on, and that's the best way I could describe it without spoiling all too much, even though that was a good amount of spoilers. But for those reasons, coming in at number 1, let's talk about this one more down low because I loved it. So what do you guys think of this week's new comic book day? The Many Deaths of Lila Starr was definitely my favorite read of the week, but there were so many other good issues too. Let me know down below in the comments section which issue you loved the most this week. But thank you for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.